So again, remember when we're graphing, we have to put the asymptotes on. How do asymptotes go on our graph? Dash lines, dotted lines, or slash lines, because if we're right on those big old thick X and Y axes, to make sure that we can slash the lines too, to make sure that we have the
view.
So that you can see it. Yep, exactly. And then, like I said, if you wanted to make a list on the side, like we've been doing up on all the examples so far, for your intercepts and holes and all that fun stuff, you can. So let's work our steps. Step 0 says what?
Factor.
Factor. Okay, factor and simplify. Okay, does the top of this factor to what?
4x minus 1.
4 and then the quantity x minus 1. So x minus 1 in parentheses.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Like it. Does the bottom factor to what? Okay. Anything cancel out? What? X minus 1s cancel each other out. Okay? So that leaves me with my new function is 4 over x plus 5. Right? Okay? Alright? So then now, step number 1 says, what? Find the domain and
Vertical asymptote.
and vertical asymptotes, right? Okay. Where do I look for the domain? I go back to my original equation, okay? So what is the domain of my original equation? Yep. -5 and +1. Okay? After that, now where am I looking? Now I'm just looking at my new equation. Okay? Right? So what are the vertical asymptotes now for that one? X equals -5. Isn't that it? That's it, right? Okay? That goes on our 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay. Step number 2. What is the horizontal asymptote? Y equals 0 because smaller big, yep. Degree of the top is 0, degree of the bottom is 1. So we got a small over a big, so that's y equals 0. Okay? So here's where that, if you wanted to slash, here, actually, just let me put that on there just so you see what it means. So if you just slash through like that. That way we can see it. Okay. Step number 3. Nope. Y-intercept. What is my y-intercept?
0, 4 over 5.
0, 4/5. Okay, remember on that one again, we plug in 0 in our function. So that would be right there. Okay. X-intercept. None. Why none?
Because 4 cannot equal 0.
Because 4 cannot equal 0. You have to set the top equal to 0, and that can't. With me so far. Okay. Step that was step number 4. Step number 5. Holes. How do I find a hole? Well, first off, does it have a hole? Why does it have a hole? Because we crossed something out up here. So I solve what I crossed out. So I say x minus 1 equals 0. So x equals 1. And then that's my x. So my hole is going to be at 1 comma something, right? Put that, so now I find my new f of 1. So it'd be at 1 comma 2/3. Okay. Step 6 we're going to get tomorrow. Step 7, teach our more points, right? Okay. All right. So let's go. You want to do the left zone first or the right zone?
I say right will be easier since we only got 2 points.
So you already got 2 points over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So really in the right zone we would only need, like, I would say -4. Just to see how quickly it goes up. So if we put in -4, then I've got 4 over -4 plus 5 is +1. So that would be 4. Okay. So we're good over there. All right. Then let's do -6. So then that's going to be 4 over -6 plus 5 is -1. So that's going to be -4. Let's go with -7. That's going to be 4 over -2. And then let's go with -10. That's going to be, actually, no, let's not go with -10. Let's go with -9. You'll see why I'm choosing -9 here in a minute. -9 would be 4 over -4. Yep. And you can draw it in. Do I just go right through my hole?
No.
Nope, gotta lift up. And then continue on. Questions, comments, concerns, clarifications? Need a refresher on something? Alrighty then. Go for it. Alright. So, let's work our steps. Step 0. Factor, right? Does the top of this one, the numerator, does it factor? What can we factor out?
3.
Factor out a 3. Bottom, does it factor? Sure what? X plus 2, x minus 2? Okay. Anything cancel out? No. So that means I don't have a new function, and that means I don't have a hole because nothing canceled out. Okay. So that stays the same. Domain then. Domain of this function. Love it. Okay. All real numbers. X can't equal plus or minus 2. Vertical asymptotes then. Horizontal asymptote. Because the degree of the top is 1, degree of the bottom is 2, so it's still a small over big. Okay. Y-intercept. Plug in 0, right? Which we found was negative 2.25. Yeah. X-intercept. Negative 3, 0. How'd you get that? It should be on everybody's supplemental note sheet. Set the numerator equal to 0 and solve. 3x plus 9 equals 0. So 3x is going to be negative 9. So x is going to be negative 3. What's wrong? Good question. Can that be a thing?
Yeah, you can go past the horizontal asymptote, just can't go past the vertical.
You can cross the horizontal. You would know more. Just can't cross the vertical. Yeah. Step 5. Hole. Do we have a hole? Nope, no hole, nothing crossed out. Yeah. Step 7. Now we gotta make our T-chart, right? We'll work left to right. Okay? So, if I already got 1 point on there, so let's go 1 right next to it, so that would be 2, negative 4. 3 times negative 4. Negative 12 plus 9. Negative 3. Negative 4 squared. 16 minus 4. 16 minus 4? Oh. 12. Okay. So that's like negative 1/4, right? Let's go negative 10. Negative, or excuse me, 3 times negative 10. Negative 30 plus 9. Negative 21. Negative 10 squared. 100 minus 4. 96. That's like negative 0.2. I'd go back to my original one because it's less things I got to plug into. But because we didn't factor anything out, it doesn't matter. But go back to the original one, then it's less things to plug into. We're only plugging in 2 spots, and then having the multiplier. Okay. Do we have enough information to graph the line or to graph our function on the left zone? Yeah? Yeah? I think so. I think it starts out here underneath, and then it crosses because we have an x-intercept, and it goes shooting up. Middle zone now. Try -1. 3 times -1 plus 9. -1 squared. Next is 1, right? Minus 4. 6 divided by -3. Yeah. +1 then. 3 times 1 plus 9. 1 squared minus 4. That's like -4, right? Do we have enough information internally in the middle zone? I think so. Comes up along here. Comes out. Comes up. Does it go up? Does it go up? Yes. Why can't it cross the x-axis? What? There's no intercept in there. We only have one x-intercept. So it only crosses the x-axis once. So which way does that have to go from there? It's got to go down now because it can't go up because it can't cross the x-axis. It's got to go down. Okay. No? You had all that information right here. Okay? All that information's right there. That if you don't have an x-intercept, you can't all of a sudden make one. Okay? Okay? So now we got one more zone to do. 3, 4, and 10. If I plug in 3, 3 times 3 is 9, plus 9 is 18. 3 squared is 9, minus 4 is 5. 18 over 5 is a little bit more than 3, less than 4. 4, 12 plus 9 is 21. 16 minus 4 is 12. That is less than 2. 10. 30 plus 9 is 39. Over 96 is less than 1. Will this one cross to the negative side? Why not? No x-intercepts. Only have that one x-intercept. Okay. Trust the steps. If it's not in the steps beforehand, you can't add one in later. Yes, sir. Sure. Okay. You have the, I think it was a pink worksheet this week. Did you pink this week? Yeah. Okay. Pink worksheet number must be 14. Week 14. Okay. That you can be working on this next month.